21 multiplied by, अब तो मैं इतना लिखूंगा भी नहीं, multiplied by 428. No long multiplication algorithm. Calculate it. किस तरह करेंगे? Multiplication is repeated addition. So these are 721 428s. This is all that I need to do. I'm now going to write it. Calculate it. You want to do it? No, you don't want to do it, right? So why you taught the long multiplication algorithm? To make the calculations faster. Making calculations faster is very important, right? I mean, you don't want to take infinite amount of time. Calculations have to be fast. Okay? इसीलिए आजकल आपने NVIDIA का नाम सुना है? NVIDIA. किसी ने नहीं सुना है? You should have heard about it. Okay, just a random thing. Nothing to do with math. Well, it has to do with math. NVIDIA. It's the most Apple के साथ it is competing to be the most NVIDIA के GPUs are very famous, graphical processing units, right? So AI का आजकल आपने नाम सुना होगा, artificial intelligence का, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning. That's why so NVIDIA and Apple are competing to be the most जिनकी सबसे ज़्यादा market capitalization है. So they're both around, I think, a few $1 trillion. I don't know कितना इनकी जो market capitalization है. So NVIDIA, why is NVIDIA so successful? Because it can make processors that can make आपका chat GPT. So जो तमाम जो training होती है chat GPT की और किसी चीज़ की, that's done on NVIDIA processors. So that's why NVIDIA is such a successful company, because it can make things go fast. Okay, so if you can calculate faster, all it can do is, NVIDIA is I don't know, I think it's around $4 trillion, right? So I think lagbhag hai, I don't know, it could be around $4 trillion plus minus. I don't know what the market capitalization is. It's about $4 trillion, right? So 4 trillion is about 4,000 billion, right? So 4,000 billion, right? 4,000 billion. How I don't know how to write it. So this is $4,000 billion. Do you know Pakistan ka debt kitna hai, roughly? So this is the market capitalization of the company. The company is worth about $4,000 billion. Pakistan ka debt, idea? Huh? On the order of a few hundred. So Pakistan ka debt jo hai is around maybe $200 billion. So the market capitalization of this company is about 20 times bigger than Pakistan's debt. Okay, that's the scale of the company that we are talking about. Okay, or why is it successful? Because it can make things go fast. So as a very simple way, I'm just giving you an example of what, if you can make things go fast, what can it do for you? So the reason why you were taught the long multiplication algorithm is so that you can calculate faster. Okay, now जो आपका तरीका है, मैंने इसको बहुत carefully नहीं पढ़ा. It may work, बल्कि मैंने इसकी exact, the mathematical details are a bit painful to work through. Let's look at a different one, something like this. Let's try a simpler one like a plus b. हम आसान try करते हैं. So let's try. हमने ये किया हुआ है पहले, right? A plus b plus c cubed minus a cubed minus b cubed minus c cubed, right? अगर हमने इसको factorize करना हो, right? हमने इसको पहले factorize किया था. How did we factorize this one? First of all, we looked at it as symmetric. A goes to B goes to C, में there is complete symmetry, right? That was one thing. Second of all, हमने एक और चीज़ note की थी. What else did we note about it? We noted that when A is equal to minus B, when A is equal to minus B, I think it vanishes. So when A is equal to minus B, this is C cubed. This vanishes when A is equal to minus B, these scale off. So this is C cubed minus C cubed, which is 0. So A equal to minus B पे the the polynomial vanishes, which means a plus b has to be a factor of the, जो भी हम करेंगे उसमें a plus b को आना चाहिए. बात समझ आ रही है आपको? Is this clear? By looking at where does the polynomial vanish, I figured out that a equal to minus b has to be a factor of this polynomial. Do you understand this point here? No. Okay. Huh? Okay, that's fine. So let's look at it. First of all, do you see this is a polynomial f of a, b, c is equal to this. Okay. Now if I say f of what is a को minus b में set कर, so you can check what f of minus b, b, c is, and that turns out to be exactly equal to 0. Because you substitute a equal to minus b here, you will get identically equal to 0. Okay, that's just a simple calculation. So what does it mean? What it means is कि remember अगर आपकी कोई factorization है, let's say f of a, b, c की कोई factorization है, some kind of a factorization, right? So अगर उसकी factorization होगी तो जब आप a को b के बराबर सेट करते हैं, माइनस b के बराबर सेट करते हैं, तो वो वैल्यू आ जाती है इक्वल टू द पॉलिनोमियल गोज़ टू 0, राइट? तो फैक्टर में क्या होना चाहिए उसके? रिमेंबर अगर इसका फैक्टर कुछ इस तरह का हो, a प्लस b मल्टीप्लाइड बाय सम अदर पॉलिनोमियल, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज़, राइट? सो व्हेन यू सेट a इक्वल टू माइनस b, इसको क्या होगा? ये 0 हो जाएगा. Is this clear? When a is equal to minus b, it's going to be minus b plus b, which will be equal to 0. So what I am arguing is that once you find out that when you set a equal to minus b, the polynomial vanishes, then you are expecting a factor like a plus b. ये बात समझ आ रही है? नहीं समझ आई? जी? Okay, so what I am trying to argue again is, I am just afraid that thing may fall on your head, and I am a bit concerned about that. आपको आ रहा है सर? That thing that's half, yeah, just be careful. I mean, yeah, maybe you want to move somewhere away from there. I don't know. Okay. अच्छा, anyway, हाँ जी. तो अब आप क्या पूछ रही थी? मैं ये आपसे आर्ग्यू कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे कि a, b, c की कोई फैक्टराइजेशन, f की कोई फैक्टराइजेशन है, I don't know what it is. But if I set, I know if I set a equal to minus b, the polynomial vanishes. So I am now thinking of a factorization of this. So let's think of a simple thing. Let's think of something like x square minus 1. Okay? When does this polynomial vanish? When x is equal to plus 1 and when x is equal to minus 1. Is this clear? Plus 1 पे 1 squared minus 1, minus 1 पे minus 1 squared is 1, 1 minus 1 is again 0. So that lends me to believe that the factorization must be of this form. Because when I set x equal to minus 1, इसके साथ क्या होता है? What happens when x equal to minus 1? This is 0. And when x is equal to plus 1, this vanishes when this is equal to 0, right? So मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि the zeros of a polynomial tell me something about the factorization of the polynomial. So here I figured out a 0 of a polynomial. So then it will tell me something about the factorization of the polynomial. Okay? So ये मैं argue कर रहा हूँ. So once I know that a plus b is a factor, then, but I also know the polynomial is symmetrical. So अगर a plus b आएगा तो और क्या आना चाहिए इसमें? b plus c और c plus a, ये तीनों आने चाहिए. Which means that this is not sufficient. I have to get a plus b, I have to get b plus c. This is by symmetry. This is by this fact, this is by symmetry. Ye equality is by symmetry. Because there was a symmetry, a going to b, b going to c, and c going to a. Now note that I already have a cubic term appearing here. I am already getting a cubic because a, b, c, अगर मैं तीनों की add करूँ तो 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Okay, बात समझ आ रही है आपको? So I am already getting cubic terms here. अगर मैं यहाँ पे एक और ए बी सी का लिख दूँ तो मैं क्वार्टिक में चला जाऊँगा, मैं फोर्थ ऑर्डर पॉलिनोमियल बनना शुरू हो जाएगा, जबकि ये मेरे पास थर्ड ऑर्डर पॉलिनोमियल है। बात समझ आ रही है? सो आई कांट पुट इन अनदर पॉलिनोमियल, आई कैन पुट इन अ कांस्टेंट k that I have to figure out. I don't know the constant. So that would be my way of, and then I multiply it out and check k how do these terms manage, and then I get the answer. Apply the same principle to this problem. And there's a very easy answer, right? Okay, good. So that's exactly my suggestion to you. Okay, apply the same principle to this problem and you'll get, so look at where the polynomial vanishes, pehla idea. Once you figure out where the polynomial vanishes, then what do? You look for, तो आप symmetry use करते हैं and generate other terms, and then try to look for the constants, and then you'll find the constants and then you're done. बात समझ आई है सबको? इसके बारे में कोई सवाल? All good? Okay. I want to do something slightly different today. जी.
Can you presume that there is a constant?
You can't presume. You can just say that there may be a constant. The constant could be equal to 1. That you have to figure out what it is. It could be -1. It could be 43. I don't know what it is.
Constant can be 0.
No, the constant would not be 0 because then it would identically turn out to be the 0 polynomial, and unless your initial polynomial is a 0 polynomial, you can't have the 0 polynomial on the right. जी. जी.
उसके बाद हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप कैसे करेंगे कि हमें पता चल जाए कि ये इसकी फैक्टराइजेशन है?
आखिर आपने, सो व्हाट यू हैव डन इज आपने a प्लस बी को फैक्टर ढूंढ लिया, या a प्लस बी को फैक्टर ढूंढा, बाय सिमेट्री यू फाउंड b प्लस सी एंड c प्लस a, ये तीन आपको मिल गए। फिर आपने आर्ग्यू किया कि मेरे पास थर्ड ऑर्डर पॉलिनोमियल, थर्ड डिग्री पॉलिनोमियल राइट साइड पे था, मेरे पास तीन फैक्टर्स, लीनियर फैक्टर्स आ गए, इसका मतलब है फोर्थ और कुछ नहीं हो सकता, राइट, 3 से ऊपर जा नहीं सकते आप। फिर सिर्फ कांस्टेंट रह गया, वो अपने के ढूंढेंगे बाय मल्टीप्लाइंग आउट एंड एक्सपैंडिंग इट आउट। एक्सपेंशन फैक्टराइजेशन से हमेशा आसान होती है, क्योंकि फैक्टराइजेशन करना आपने बड़ी चीज़ को छोटी में कन्वर्ट करना है, छोटे को एक्सपैंड करना माइंडलेसली आप कर सकते हैं। मल्टीप्लिकेशन इज़ माइंडलेस, जबकि फैक्टराइजेशन इज़ माइंडफुल, वो मुश्किल होती है फैक्टराइजेशन करना। बात समझ आ रही है आपको? सो इसी तरह जब आप वो सवाल कर रहे होंगे तो आपको कुछ फैक्टर ढूंढने पड़ेंगे। जब आप फैक्टर ढूंढ लेंगे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि मे बी ये 3 फैक्टर्स हैं, क्योंकि वो ए बी सी का था शायद, या एक्स वाई जेड का था, तो उसमें 3 फैक्टर्स मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन वो फोर्थ ऑर्डर था और वो सिमेट्रिकल था, तो आपको एक और ढूंढना पड़ेगा, लेकिन वो सिमेट्रिकल होगा क्योंकि आपने सिमेट्री मेंटेन करनी है। तो और फिर ये गेसेस हैं, आखिर में आपको मल्टीप्लाई आउट करके कंफर्म करना पड़ेगा कि वो आंसर सही है कि नहीं है, बट इट अलाउज यू टू गेट टू इट वेरी क्विकली इंस्टेड ऑफ हैविंग टू वर्क थ्रू एवरीथिंग इन अ स्लो वे। ओके, सो मैं जाना चाहता हूँ बैक टू द प्रॉब्लम जो हम लोग कर रहे थे, जिसमें मैंने एक झूठ बोला था आपसे और मैंने कहा था कि आप ज़रा झूठ मेरा फिगर आउट करें। रिमेंबर, सो दैट वाज अनदर होमवर्क दैट आई टोल्ड यू, विच वाज कि वी वर डूइंग x plus 1 over x is an integer, and हमने ये प्रूव करना था, प्रूव x to the n plus 1 over x to the n is an integer for all n in the natural numbers, या positive integers, या whatever else that you wish to call it. Okay, जी, right? तो मैंने आपको बड़ा वो डोमिनोज़ की स्टोरी बनाई थी, टाइल्स की, बड़ा समझाया था आपको, उसमें मैंने कहा था मैंने एक झूठ बोला है। किसी को झूठ समझ नहीं आया? ओके, अभी इसका मतलब है, अभी आपने पूरा सवाल तशरीह करके देखिए। तशरीह की थी इसकी? नहीं, मैंने नहीं ख्याल अपनी तशरीह की, क्योंकि तशरीह करेंगे तो आपके हाथ कांपना शुरू हो जाएंगे। अब आप लिखने की कोशिश करेंगे तो आपसे लिखा नहीं जाएगा, बिकॉज जो आप अस्यूम कर रहे हैं वो आप इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे, तो आपने तशरीह नहीं की उसी घर जाके। सो आपको घर बैठ के तशरीह करनी चाहिए थी, वो सवाल दोबारा करना चाहिए था बाय यूजिंग दोज असम्पशंस। सो किसी ने किया वो सवाल दोबारा, आई वांट टू सी इट डन, कि किस तरह आपने ये प्रूव करने की कोशिश की है। चूँकि जो आपकी असम्पशन थी कि वो n-1 के लिए ट्रू है। सो रिमेंबर स्ट्रक्चर क्या था, सो लेट्स से ये स्टार है, सो हमारा तरीका ये था, वी नो, सो हमारा प्रूफ ये था, नो स्टार इज़ ट्रू for n equal to 1. That's our assumption, right? We assume star is true for n equal to k, and we prove star is true for n equal to k plus 1, and then we invoke the axiom of induction to say that we have proved this for all n. ये हमारा तरीका था, राइट? अगर आपने ये किया होता तो यू वुड हैव फाउंड आउट कि जो मैं यहाँ पे ये कह रहा हूँ ये एक्चुअली इज़ नॉट सफिशिएंट. यू कांट प्रूव दिस, यू कांट डू दिस प्रूफ, दिस इज़ फॉल्स. ये नहीं होता. इफ़ यू ट्राई टू डू इट, इट डजंट वर्क. ओके, सो आई वांट टू सी इट कि आप मुझे शो करें कहाँ पे ये ब्रेक डाउन करता है. ठीक है, जब आप ये ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे फिर मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूँगा कि मैंने, जब आप मुझे शो करेंगे कि ये नहीं चलता है इस तरह, तो शो इट टू मी. ठीक है ना? So next time we meet on Wednesday, show कि this breaks down. You will not be able to prove star works for n equal to k plus 1. और अगर कर सकते हैं तो मुझे प्रूव करके दिखाएं. ओके, वरना मैं आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू रूइन अ गुड क्वेश्चन कि अगर आपने काम नहीं करे तो फिर मैं आपको आई डोंट टू रूइन अ क्वेश्चन. सो यू हैव टू डू दिस, शो इट टू मी कि ये फॉल्स क्यों है, व्हाई डज इट नॉट वर्क. आप कोशिश करेंगे इस असम्पशन के तहत और नहीं होगा. ओके, सो आई एम गोइंग टू लेट इट स्टे. ये सवाल मैं यहीं पे छोड़ रहा हूँ कि जब तक मुझे इसका कोई so this part will be hard for you. ये ठीक है, ये भी ठीक है, you can assume this, लेकिन ये करते हुए आपके हाथ कांपेंगे. This you will not be able to do, and that is where I want to see it break down. कि जब आपने काम करेंगे तो आपसे टूटेगा, वो काम नहीं होगा. Okay, so now I want to, जी कोई भी नंबर है, k is any natural number. So आपने यही कहा ना, हमने कहा था कि एक डोमिनो गिरता है, पहला वाला डोमिनो गिरता है, हमने ये चेक किया और वो गिरता है, तो x प्लस 1/x इज़ एन इंटीजर. सो पहला डोमिनो गिर गया. फिर हम प्रूव करेंगे कि जब भी nth डोमिनो गिरता है, या n या k या जो मर्जी कह दें, जब भी kth डोमिनो गिरता है तो k प्लस फर्स्ट डोमिनो गिरता है. और अगर हम ये प्रूव करने में कामयाब हो जाएं तो फिर हम शो कर देंगे कि तमाम डोमिनोज गिरते हैं, राइट? लेकिन आप जब ये शो करने की कोशिश करेंगे कि जब kth, आप अस्यूम करेंगे kth डोमिनो गिरता है, which means कि x to the k plus 1/x to the k is an integer, and you will try to show that x to the k plus 1 plus 1/x to the k plus 1 is an integer, so you won't be able to do it. Okay? So आपसे होगा नहीं वो, तो आप कहेंगे ये नहीं हो रहा. और जहाँ पे फंसेंगे वहाँ पे फिर मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि हमने क्या, मैंने आपसे झूठ बोला था, जो कहानी डाली थी वो झूठ थी. एक्चुअली इसमें स्लाइट हल्का सा ट्विस्ट एंड देन द स्टोरी इज़ ओके, लेकिन वो हल्का सा ट्विस्ट आपको पहले देखने को वो है मौजूद. ठीक है ना? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to try it and see why you can't do it, and then you need something stronger to go through it. Anyway, so हमारा काफ़ी ज़्यादा, so I came in late also. I wanted to do something else, which was I want to segue के spellings. SEG, segue, meaning and spellings. अंग्रेज़ी है, सो इट नेवर वर्क्स आउट एग्जैक्टली. सेगवे बोलते सेगवे हैं, लिखते SEGUE हैं, सेगवे. सो सेगवे इज़ लाइक एक नेचुरल ट्रांजिशन है इनटू समथिंग एल्स. सो यू सेगवे, एक चलते चलते आप जा रहे हैं सीधे, एंड देन यू सेगवे इनटू समथिंग वेरी नेचुरली, जो साइड पर है लेकिन वो बड़ा नेचुरल सा रास्ता है. सो आई एम सेगवेइंग, SEGUE लिखते हैं. ओके, सो आई एम गोइंग टू सेगवे इनटू कॉम्बिनेटोरिक्स. हालांकि हमें करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट काइंड ऑफ फन टू काउंट, और काउंटिंग इज़ ऑलवेज फन. बचपन से आप काउंट करते आ रहे हैं, तो लेट्स ट्राई टू काउंट. एंड द क्वेश्चन इज़ वेरी रेलिवेंट टू दिस क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज यू विल सी व्हाई इज़ इट रेलिवेंट टू. इस सवाल से मेरे जहन में काउंटिंग का ख्याल आया, तो मैंने कहा हम काउंटिंग करना सीख लेते हैं दोबारा. काउंटिंग कभी, इट नेवर हर्ट एनीबडी टू लर्न हाउ टू काउंट, राइट? ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट काउंटिंग. सो आई एम गोइंग टू, सो दिस इज़ नॉट इन द टेक्स्ट बुक, बट इट्स अ वेरी नेचुरल प्लेस टू लर्न हाउ टू काउंट. थोड़ा सा तो हम काउंटिंग सीख लेते हैं. ओके, सो काउंटिंग का उसूल क्या है जो आपने बचपन में सीखा था? लेट्स से आई वांट टू काउंट द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स इन दिस क्लास. एक तरीका, आई कैन काउंट. अगर रोज़ सीधी होती तो मैं काउंट कर लेता, भाई तो रोज़ टेढ़ी. आप आगे हैं, आप किस रो में हैं? आप आगे वाली रो में या पीछे वाली रो में, आप फैसला कर लें। एक रो में जा सकते हैं आप आगे वाली रो में जा रहे हैं तो आप भी फिर आगे वाली रो में आ जाए। ओके, शुड बी क्लियर कि आपकी रोज़, ताकि मैं रो वाइज काउंट कर सकूँ। उठा के करते हैं हमेशा, फंडामेंटल रूल ऑफ मूविंग फर्नीचर, you lift it and then you move it. Okay, so let's count row wise. 4 plus 4 8 plus 2 10. That's one way of counting, right? Okay, एक और तरीका, column wise, 2 plus 3 5 plus 3 8 plus 2 10. एक और तरीका काउंटिंग का, red desks and blue desks, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Right? Okay, multiple ways of counting and I'm getting the same answer. So what principle was I using? मुझे कोई बता सकता है? तो आपने बचपन में प्री स्कूल में ये प्रिंसिपल सीखा था, मैं वही दोबारा प्रिंसिपल यूज़ कर रहा हूँ, कई छोटी छोटी चीज़ें यूज़ कर रहा हूँ। क्या चीज़ें मैंने यूज़ की हैं जी? कम्यूटेटिव लॉ कहाँ से हुआ? ये 2 + 3 5 5 + 3 8 + 2 10, ये 4 + 4 8 + 2 10, कम्यूटेटिव लॉ कहाँ से आ गया? हर चीज़ हम नहीं कह सकते कि कम्यूटेटिव लॉ है, क्या चीज़ हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं? Why am I getting the same answer back? Always the same answer. बचपन में क्या सीखा था आपने? एक तो ये, that is fundamental to counting, और क्या चीज़ हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं? So things do not, हम अगर मैं एक और तरह काउंट करना चाहता हूँ, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, there are 7 students in this class, right? Oh, okay, sorry.
There is no specific order.
ऑर्डर ना भी हो, मैंने एक ऑर्डर में नहीं भी काउंट किया था।
You can change your order, but you have to count everything.
Okay, now let me try. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12.
If you want to count, you have to count everything once.
Yeah, you have to count everything once. That's a very important principle. आपको लग बड़ा like you find it hilarious, but that is something that you have to remember. Counting is based on the fact that things don't disappear or appear in our world. But counting का मतलब ये है कि essentially जो आप बचपन में, इसीलिए आपकी टीचर कहती थी touch before you're counting, right? So I'm going to count 1 2 या cross करते थे something like that, so that you count everything and you count everything exactly once. That is what counting means. Okay? Counting का मतलब क्या है? किसी चीज़ को डबल काउंट नहीं करना, किसी चीज़ को मिस नहीं करना। ये याद रखिएगा, ये दो बड़े सादे प्रिंसिपल्स हैं। क्या हैं?
किसी चीज़ को मिस नहीं करना और किसी चीज़, हर चीज़ को एक दफ़ा काउंट।
हाँ, डबल काउंट नहीं करना। अब बड़ा सादा है, आपको लग बड़ा सादा रहा है। लेट्स स्टार्ट आउट काउंटिंग। ओके, सो लेट्स से स्टार्ट आउट इजी। हाउ मेनी वेज कैन यू, मेरे पास ए है और लेटर बी है। ओके, हाउ मेनी वेज कैन आई ए बी के साथ में क्या बना सकता हूँ? जस्ट बाई चेंजिंग द ऑर्डर, व्हाट एल्स कैन आई मेक? A, B and B, A, right? Okay, pretty simple. 2 options. Is this clear to everybody? A, B और B, A के अलावा और कुछ नहीं बनता. That's true. Okay, that's great. Okay, this is true. Okay. Now let's try A, B, C. अब मैं वो ये मैं हटा ही दूँ because just going to irritate me. A, B, C. How many? 6. Why 6? 6. Yeah. I mean, you can certainly do 6 because I can do A, C, B. Then I can do B, A, C, B, C, A, then I'll have C, A, B and C, B, A. That's good. Okay, that's 6. This is going to be 6. Okay, now I'm going to get into a bit of trouble because obviously I'm going to get to something a bit more interesting, which is going to be A, B, C, D.
24.
Why 24?
We have done a problem like this before of practicing knowing that the last has.
So what you're saying is A को मैं यहाँ रखता हूँ fixed, and then I've just BCD, and BCD का मुझे पता है कि 6 तरीके हैं. So A के साथ I'm not going to bother. I'm going to get 6 ways of working with BCD, right? Then I'm going to put B here, and then I'll have ACD, and I'm going to have 6 ways here. And I'm going to put C here, and I'm going to have B, A, B, D, A, B, D, that's also going to be 6. And then I'm going to put D, and I'm going to have A, B, C, and that's also going to be 6. So this will turn out to be equal to 24. Okay. So what about A, B, C, D, E? I won't try to do it, lekin you will tell me the answer.
120.
24 times 5, right? That's what you're telling me. So this will be equal to 24 times 5, which some people are claiming is 120. Okay. Let's try a slightly different question. That's great. So in general, so this actually introduces the this is a good way to introduce the factorial notation जो आप लोगों ने कईयों ने देखी हुई कईयों ने नहीं देखी हुई. Because this is 2, this is 3 times 2, right? और अगर हमारे पास एक होता, सिर्फ a होता, तो उसका एक ही तरीका था, right? Okay? So 2 को मैं 2 times 1 लिख सकता हूँ, इसको मैं 3 times 2 times 1 लिख सकता हूँ, इसको मैं 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 लिख सकता हूँ, और इसको मैं obviously 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the shorthand for writing these objects is factorial. Okay, so this symbol with an exclamation mark is called the factorial. Okay, is this clear? Okay, what a factorial is? It's like 7 factorial is 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1.
All the preceding numbers.
Till 1.
Till 1.
Till 1. Yeah. Okay, that's a factorial. Okay, great.
So 1 factorial is 1.
1 factorial is 1. Oh, I should say that. In fact, you can actually define 0 factorial also, and that's also equal to 1, and there's a reason for it. But you won't understand it. So this is the same reason, because you have the, so why do you define 1 to be a prime, not to be a prime number? We talked about this. Why is 1 not a prime number?
It's because you cannot divide by 2 numbers.
No, that's not, you can divide 1 by G.
So because prime numbers have 2 factors that are the number itself and 1.
But I want to change, but let's say I don't want to have this definition for the prime numbers. I want to change the definition of prime numbers. I want to say कि 2 factors मैं नहीं रखता उसमें, change करता हूँ definition of prime numbers. What do we lose? We talked about this. You lose the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, the uniqueness of prime factorization. That's what you lose. If you include 1 as a prime number, then you no longer have unique factorization of numbers, right? 4 की factorizations क्या होंगी? 2 squared, 2 squared into 1, 2 squared into 1 squared, 2 squared into 1 cubed, 2 squared into 1 raised to the power 4. बात समझ आ रही है आपको? You can no longer say if you make 1 a prime number, you lose unique factorization of prime numbers. You understand that fact, right? Yes? Nahin. Nahin. Zikriya is not on board with us. Zikriya nahi, sorry. Abdur Rafi. Ji. Do you understand it? क्या? Becomes a prime number. फिर क्या होगा? नहीं, अगर बन गया prime number, फिर क्या नुकसान होगा? Yeah, because you can always multiply by 1 any prime factorization and still get the prime factorization. Okay? So you lose a theorem, a very nice theorem. इसी तरह 0 factorial को 1 define करके you gain a very nice theorem. So that's the reason why 0 factorial is 1. Okay? But ये हमारा आज का मसला नहीं है. Let's think about a different problem. Let's say कि I'm flipping a coin. Okay, heads or tails आ सकते हैं. I'm going to flip a coin, right?
This problem is in the book?
No, this is a segue into counting. Okay, so now let's say you have another. So let's say I have a coin or heads or tails की option. So this is a coin. Okay, so you flip a coin and you'll either get heads or tails. Okay, let's say I flip a coin 3 times. If I flip a coin once, what can I get? I can either get a head or a tail, right? That depends on whether the coin is fair or not. You can have an unfair coin too. So it doesn't have to be 50-50. It can be a biased coin. If you have two coins, well, two coins may have options heads, 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 tails, tails, heads, or tail, tail, right? 4 options, right? What about 3 coins? I can count them, sure. It gets to be a bit painful. अगर आप चाहते हैं तो काउंट कर एक बार कर लेते हैं. 9. Then you have head, tail, 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 head, head, head. Sorry, tail, tail, head, and then you have tail, tail, tail. Sorry?
So right on the second.
Oh, T T. So I have to have T H T. Okay. G. There you go. Okay, 8. So now I really don't want to do 4 coins. It's getting to be a bit annoying. So what would the answer for 4 coins be? Why? I think it's going to be 14 or 18 or 17 or 432. Huh? How about you do it? I don't want to do it. You can do it if you want to. Your choice. And then I'll ask you for 5 and then 6 and then 7. And then 532. And then I'll come back next year to find the answer. Ji. So I want you to think. So let's go back. So we are counting, right? We're just counting the number of ways how things can be done. और हम कुछ नहीं कर रहे. ये बात समझ आ रही है? We're just counting. जिससे हमने यहाँ पे काउंट किया था 1 2 3 4 5 6. यहाँ पे हमने काउंट किया 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Just counting. कोई और चीज़ नहीं कर रहे. Let's go back to this one, and I want you to think about this one in a particular way, and then maybe you'll suggest something for me here. So यहाँ पे let's think about ये वाला case. Let me erase this. This is a nice case to think about. So let's take. So imagine 3 boxes here. I have 3 boxes here. Right? Okay. How many, and I want to put A, B, C in these boxes. How many choices do I have for the first? 3 choices for the first one. So let's say, so I have 3 choices for the first one. Okay. Another way of thinking about it. I have 3 choices for the first one. For every choice that I have made, let's say I put in the A over there in the first box. तो बाकी मेरे पास कितनी choices रहेंगी for the second choice? 2 choices. And I'll tell you why are we multiplying. And then for the last choice, you only have 1 choice. So it's 3 into 2 into 1, that's 3 factorial. But let's think about why, what am I doing? I'm saying, पहली जो choice है, for the first box, I have 3 choices. Agreed? This represents 3 choices for the first box. मेरे पास 3 choices हैं, या A, या B, या C. A, या B, या C. For the first box. Is this clear? तीनों में से मैं एक कोई इसमें डाल सकता हूँ. ओके. Once I've put A, B, C into a box, अब मैंने यहाँ पर A डाल दी है, तो अब मेरे पास कितनी choices रह गई? 2. Either a B or a C. ओके. यहाँ पे मैं करूँगा तो गंदा हो जाएगा, पर हो जाएगा शायद. ओके. अगर मैंने यहाँ पे B डाल दी है, तो what choices am I left with? A और C. और अगर मैंने यहाँ पे C डाल दी है, तो मेरे पास 2 choices हैं, A और B, right? Okay. Now मैं A, B यहाँ पे डाल चुका हूँ. अब मेरे पास क्या choice है यहाँ पे? No choice, just C, right? There's no other choice. I just have to have a C here, right? अब मैं AC यहाँ पे डाल चुका हूँ, तो what choice do I have? B. बात समझ आ रही है आपको? Like I'll bore you. यहाँ पे A, B एक choice है, यहाँ पे भी एक choice है, यहाँ पे भी एक choice है, और यहाँ पे भी एक choice है. Is this clear to everybody? इसके बारे में कोई confusion? So now I am counting the number of paths really. There were 3 paths. This represents ABC, this represents ACB, this represents BAC, this represents BCA, this represents CAB, and this represents CBA. Is this clear? So every path is representing a different permutation. Is this clear to everybody? Different permutation, right? A different ordering of the things. Yeah? So now, why are we multiplying? Why? Because remember, multiplication is, बचपन में याद किया था, repeated addition, right? So note that there are 3 choices here. For each one of the 3 choices, I have 2 choices आगे. बात समझ आ रही है? So I have actually, this is a 2, this is a 2, and this is a 2. And how many 2's do I have? 3 2's. That's why I'm multiplying these 3 2's. ये बात समझ आ रही है आपको? Is this clear? I have a 2 here. Hopefully you can see. This is a 2, this is a 2, and this is a 2. So there are 3 2's, and that's why I have 3 2's over here. Okay? And for each one of the 3 2's, I have a 1, and I have a 1, and I have a 1, and I have a 1. That's why I'm multiplying by 1. That's a trivial thing. Okay? Let's try another one, a bit bigger. थोड़ा सा ज़रा बड़ा होगा तो मज़ा ज़्यादा आएगा. So now do you see why is it 3 times 2 times 1? Okay, let's try another one. ABCD try करते हैं, which is a bit more interesting than this. But let me leave this here. And let's try यहाँ पे ABCD. So now मेरे पास है A, B, C, D. Okay, I want to count. So मेरे पास पहला, there are 4 boxes. Remember, I have 4 boxes. So I can put in the 4 boxes. A, या B. These are 4 boxes. जिसमें I have a choice कि मैंने ABCD जितना मर्जी डाल दूँ. पहले box के लिए how many choices do I have? 4 choices. So the first box will have four choices: A, B, C, or D. Agreed? Yeah, I have 4 choices going out for the first box. अच्छा, first box में मैंने A डाल दिया, तो अब मेरे पास बकिया box जो अगला box है उसमें कितनी choices हैं? 3 choices. कौन सी? Yeah, so I have a choice which is B, C. Sorry, I have to do it in this very ugly way. B, C, D. और अगर मैंने B पहले बॉक्स में डाल दिया तो अब मेरे पास क्या रह गया? A, C, D, right? Is this clear? And then यहाँ पे भी जो भी होगा आगे, और यहाँ पे भी 3 choices हैं आगे. Agreed? Yeah? Now, but it doesn't matter the answer. The process is what is interesting, because people remember the answer, they don't remember the process. The process is important, the answer is trivial. Okay? Now, how many 3's do I have at the moment? Oh, the 3's look terrible. I am sorry. They look visually very disturbing. A very terrible drawing. Itni buri drawing is embarrassingly bad. So, okay. So let's try a bit better. थोड़ी सी बेहतर होनी चाहिए at least. आसपास तो लगे कि it's a drawing. This was not even pretending to be a drawing. Okay, so let's try this. Maybe slightly. Okay, whatever, at least kuch aaspaas. Okay, so now note that there are 4 3's here. Do you see the 4 3's? Yeah? So now you have 4 3's, okay? So now, abhi tak we have 4 3's. Now let's take any path. मैं एक ले लेता हूँ, let's say A, D लेते हैं हम, right? अब आगे हमारे पास कितनी choices हैं? 2 choices. या B या C, okay? And this same will be true for each one of these with different paths. अगर यहाँ पे let's say अगर ये था C था और यहाँ पे था A, B, D, तो let's say अगर मैं C, B कर चुका हूँ तो यहाँ पे मेरे पास क्या choices होंगी? A, D, right? Okay? So how many? So there are, अभी तक मेरे पास 4 3's मौजूद हैं. अब जब मैं आगे जाऊँगा, for each one of those 4 3 paths, how many more paths am I getting? For each one of these I am getting 2 more paths. बात समझ आ गई? For each one of those 4 3 paths, I am getting 2 more paths. for each one of those. इसका मतलब है जिस तरह आपके पास you have 2 hands, you have 2 hands, you have 2 hands, you have 2 hands, you have, right? How many, जितने भी आप लोग हैं, each one of you have 2 hands. So that means जितने भी students हैं multiplied by 2 will be the answer. Agreed? So यहाँ पे भी जितने भी paths हैं multiplied by 2 will be the answer. यहाँ तक कितने paths हैं? 4 threes, right? So then I have to multiply it by 2 to get to the next level. Is this clear? So these will be 4 3 2s. Okay? बात समझ आ रही है? So यहाँ तक 4 3 2s हैं. And then आगे कोई choice नहीं है because एक एक path आगे निकलेगा, right? Because यहाँ पे AD B है तो यहाँ पे C होगा, AD C है तो यहाँ पे B होगा. So that means the total number of paths will be 4 3 2s or 4 3 2 1s if you want to say it. Okay? Is this clear? So the total answer will be, यहाँ तक आंसर था 4 3s, यहाँ तक आंसर था 4 3s, यहाँ तक आंसर है 4 3 2s और यहाँ तक आंसर है 4 3 2 1s. इसके बारे में कोई क्वेश्चन? Is this clear? Yeah? We're just counting. Yeah? Good? Now can you apply the same principle here and tell me what the answer is going to be and why? अब मैंने आपको ये समझा दिया, right? This is how you should think always. Draw a picture when you want to count. Drawing pictures is a very important way. So draw me a picture and convince me that it's going to be 16 and not 432 that I am conjecturing. Why is it 16?
For 4 points.
Yeah, for 4 points. Why is that true? Not very hard. So in general, अगर यहाँ पर n हो चीज़ें तो there will be n factorial options. Okay? अगर आप लोग यहाँ पे let's say there are 10 students and I can permute you in any way, आपको एक लाइन में खड़ा करना है, how many ways can I make you stand? 10 factorial ways. Right? Okay? This is 10 to 9 to 8 to 7, that's the answer. अब इसका क्या आंसर है? जी
4 पॉइंट है, पहले वाले पॉइंट के लिए हमारे पास 4 चॉइसेस, इन 4 में से कोई एक.
पहला कोइन क्या आ सकता है? हेड या टेल. तो कितनी चॉइसेस हैं? 2 चॉइसेस. सो पहले कॉइन के लिए मेरे पास 2 चॉइसेस हैं. या हेड्स आ सकता है, दैट्स द फर्स्ट कॉइन. आई एम डन विद द फर्स्ट कॉइन. सेकंड कॉइन, अब 2 चॉइसेस हैं. तीसरे को मैं आई कैन डू इट सिमेट्रिकली. तीसरे के लिए कितनी है? 2 चॉइसेस. एंड द सेम थिंग, हेड्स टेल्स, हेड्स टेल्स, हेड्स टेल्स. और चौथे के लिए भी. सो नाउ I can okay. So now you can see this is 1 2. For every 2 you're going to get 2 more. So there's going to be 2 2s. This is going to be 2 2s के बाद this is going to be 2 2 2s and this not 3 2. I'll just say it's going to be 2 2s and then I'll have 2 2s 2s and then I have 2 2s 2s 2s. That's how I'll call it, just as 4 3 2 1 2 4 3 2 1 जैसा मैंने वहाँ पे कहा था. I'll just say 2 2 2s 2 2 2s 2s something like that. That's how I'll just count, right? बात समझ आ रही है? It's just 2 raised to the power 4. Okay? Is this clear? इसके बारे में कोई सवाल? Like I don't want it to be memorized. Sure, you can memorize it. Like 7 6s are 42 can be memorized, but also you understand why 7 6s are 42 because you're adding 6 7 times. That's what you're doing, and the answer when you add 6 7 times you get the answer 42. The same way you can memorize it. It's 2 raised to the power n in general. लेकिन this picture has to be there in your head. Why is it 2 raised to the power n is very important, because there will be times when this picture will break down, the formula will not hold, and you have to go back to the picture to understand why the formula, क्या नया formula क्या बनाना है आपने. अभी the picture will start to break down very soon. So the picture is important. Picture के बारे में कोई confusion? All clear? Why is it? So don't just memorize factorial and raised to the power n, but understand the reasons why it is true. The reasons are very important. I am getting to the actual reason why I did this silliness. Okay, so let's something do a bit more interesting. Which is, पहले हम ए बी सी कर रहे थे, राइट? अब मैं ए बी के बनाना चाहता हूँ. How many ways can you order A, B in different ways? जी? 3. A, B, A, B, A, right? There are 3 ways. Three ways to do so, right? Okay? Okay? But now, अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं what about A, B? How many ways can you do that? 4. Yeah, we know that, right? Because B can be moved back in 4 ways. But now I'm going to ask you something which is a bit more interesting, because this is getting to be a bit boring for you. Now how many? No, you don't have to count. I'm just saying, so how would you do something like that? J? 6? Yeah, is that right? 24 divided by 4. 24 divided by 2 divided by 2 is 4. Yeah, 6. I agree. Good. Is there a way to do it in a systematic way? That's the question. बात समझ आ रही है आपको? Yeah? So you want to think about how can you do it so you actually did the whole thing, right? आपने सिर्फ बना के देख लिया और आंसर 6 आया था. Is there a way that we can understand it? Remember, अगर हमारे पास separate होते, if I had A1, A2, A3, A4, यानी कि A's are all distinct. How many ways, how many permutations of these guys? A has a label. A1 is different from A2, right? तो कितने तरीके हैं? 4 फैक्टोरियल. अब 4 फैक्टोरियल क्या करें, अब 24 ना क्या करें, ज़िंदगी मेरी आसान होगी अगर 4 फैक्टोरियल कहेंगे. सो इसका 4 फैक्टोरियल है. ओके. कैन यू समहाउ go from this to this without me having to actually make मुझे काम ना करना पड़े. That's the deal. I don't want to work. You see, sorry, please go ahead.
I was thinking like 3 and 4 you can convert it to B.
Okay. So now the game is, so let me try to, you see, is this a different permutation? अगर मैं ये आपकी वाली बात मान लूँ, आपकी अभी क्लास कौन सी है? इस्लामियत पाकिस्तान स्टडीज़ वाली? साइंस. Okay. So अगर मैं आपकी बात मान लूँ, I'll imagine A3 is B, and I'll imagine A4 is B, and I'll imagine A1 is A, and I'll imagine A2 is A, right? That's the game. That's what you're suggesting. We play that game. But now there's a problem, right? Because I'm going to count A1, A2, A4, A3. Is it a different permutation or the same permutation? Agar A1, if A3 is not the same as A4, then it's a different permutation, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 is not the same as 1, 2, 4, 3. Agreed? Yeah? You are 3 different kids. If I permute you, आप पीछे बैठे हुए थे, आप आगे बैठे हुए थे, पीछे चले गए हैं. Clearly different, right? But if A3 and A4 are the same object B, then how do you know AABB or AABB में क्या फ़र्क है? I don't know what difference it is. बात समझ आ रही है आपको? Yeah? So what you claimed is a different ordering is actually not really an ordering. So I am really counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting twice the same thing. So I'm over counting, right? 24 say I somehow have to get it down to 6 because I'm over counting things. Let's say I want to count you 2 kids. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how I'm counting you, right? So I'm not counting in a smart way. So I have to stop my over counting. So how do I stop over counting? सवाल समझ आ रहा है आपको? Yeah, there is an over counting happening over here which you need to cut out. Okay, how will you cut out this over counting? Let me give you a hint because your teacher may be here in any case. Let's imagine, I don't want to imagine, you have 5 fingers on the right hand, 5 fingers on the left hand. You have 5 fingers on the right hand, 5 fingers on the left hand. I'm just going to count the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And then I just counted 20 fingers, but I want to find out the number of students. So what do we need to do? I divide it by?
Sorry,
By 10. Thank you. Yes, you're not 4 children. You're so every because so I जितनी मैंने over counting की थी, if I'm over counting by the same amount, I could अगर मैं students को count करना चाहूँ, I could just count the number of feet, right? And I'll have 20 feet in the class, and then I'll divide it by 2 to get the number of students. यहाँ पे भी I'm over counting, and I'm over counting by what? Each one of these permutations, right? अगर मैं आपको कहूँ A B, right? This is actually A1. This is actually equal to, according to Mr. Abdullah, maybe it's an A3. This is A2, and this is A4. Okay? So that's a different permutation from, अगर मैं कहूँ A B, where this is actually A1, this is actually A4, this is A2, and this is A3, right? I just said AB is different from AB, but that's not true because actually अगर मैं जैसा count कर रहा हूँ उसमें it's A1, A4, A2, A3, that's A3, A2, A4. They're different. लेकिन जब मैं reality में कर रहा हूँ तो they're actually the same. So I'm over counting. हर चीज़ को मैं over count कर रहा हूँ. By how much? That's the question. Because if I knew by how much I'm over counting, then I'll be able to divide by the over counting and get the right count. बात समझ आई? Hey, is this clear? So now the question for you is to muse about by how much am I over counting? Okay, you can clearly see एक तरफ 24 है, एक तरफ answer 6 है, so the over counting is by 4. Why is it 4? That's a question. Taken?
Sir, how do you figure out how much we do overcount?
That's what you have to tell me. You have to figure it out. कि आपको ओवर काउंटिंग मैंने दिखा दी है. बाय हाउ मच हमें पता है, हमें दोनों आंसर्स पता है. वी आर कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट 24, वी आर कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट 6, राइट? सो दैट मीन्स द फैक्टर ऑफ ओवर काउंटिंग ought to be 4. Plus 24 divided by 6 is 4. So why are we over counting by 4 is the question. Okay? So maybe you can muse about it and you can tell it to me on Wednesday. Okay, why do you think you are over counting by 4? Right? And if you अगर आ भी गए तो let me then continue on with something like this कि अगर आपको ये जवाब मिल जाए और आप बोर हो रहे हो कि मैं आपको होमवर्क नहीं दे रहा, मैं देखना चाह रहा हूँ कि भागना कौन चाहता है और खड़ा कौन होना चाहता है. तो I want to let you muse about another question that you may wish to muse about कि what can you tell me about a different problem. Here's a problem. The problem is you have boxes. हर एक में रेड है और एक में ब्लू सॉक पड़ी हुई है. There's a red and a blue sock, right? And there are n of these boxes or whatever, maybe large number, जो मर्जी कर लें. Let's call it 10 boxes, whatever. Okay? Okay? There are 10 boxes and there are red, blue socks पड़ी हुई हैं. आप इनमें से एक एक सॉक ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं at any given point in time. So एक तरीका होगा, you will get red, blue, red, blue. कितने हो गए? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. एक ये ड्राइंग होगी आपकी. You just drew socks from the boxes, right? ठीक है ना? एक ये होगा. एक ये भी हो सकती है. Blue, red, blue, red. एक ये भी ड्राइंग हो सकती है. एक और ड्राइंग हो सकती है. Blue. Just happen to only draw the blue ones. Oh, and lots of others. I can't possibly draw how many. Count the number of times. How many times what can you do? हमेशा कभी भी ज़िंदगी में काउंटिंग में तुक्का मारना नहीं चाहिए. It's a really bad idea. Okay, my students in college who are studying computer science do the same thing. The answer is either it is n factorial or 2 raised to the power n. In general, both answers are wrong. So it's never a good idea to give that answer. Think before you speak. And if you get the answer and you feel further bored कि अब तो कुछ भी करने को नहीं है, मैंने ये भी कर लिया, then try red, blue, white कर लें. Have 3 socks in each box. And then with 10 boxes, play with it and figure out what is the answer. And if you get फिर भी और बोर हो जाएं तो write computer code and try to figure out whether you can count. Python का code लिख के देखें and see whether your theory matches your code. So करने को बहुत कुछ है आपको अगर आप करना चाहें तो. जी.
We need to find out how many
ways can you do it. Yeah, it's just counting. Counting जो preschool में सीखी थी. We're just doing the preschool counting. So now you can go home and tell people कि I'm learning again what I learned when I was 3 years old or 4 years old. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. You're counting, ना over count करना है, ना under count करना है. ना किसी चीज़ को छोड़ना है, ना किसी चीज़ को 2 बार काउंट करना है. Right? यहाँ पे हम एक चीज़ को 2 बार काउंट कर रहे थे. That was the problem over here is कि we are over counting यहाँ पे. Okay, so hopefully आपको सवाल समझ आ गए. I'm hoping to see some interesting discussion on Wednesday कि ये तमाम सवाल जो हैं बेटे टांग नीचे रख के प्रॉपर्ली बैठे. So ये भी सवाल समझ आ गया सबको? या 10 boxes red blue जो ड्राइंग इसकी ओवर काउंटिंग क्यों है, ये क्यों है, और अगर ये भी हो जाए तो वाइट के साथ खेलें, जब ये भी हो जाए तो फिर कोड के साथ खेल लें, पाइथन कोड के साथ खेल लें. And then I think you will be done. If you have done all of it, then you should pat yourself on the back and say, okay, yeah, job well done. Okay?